From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. A storm developing offshore from Southern California paired with high pressure centered over the west is creating yet another setup for dry offshore winds through today. Forecasters are warning that this round of strong winds that began on Monday can rival the initial event in some areas that allowed the Palisades, Eaton, and Hearst fires to rapidly spread, with gusts up to 80 miles per hour possible across the cities of Ventura and Santa Clarita. Now, winds in the immediate Los Angeles basin should not be quite as strong as that of the extreme and rare event last week. However, winds of any sort will pose a fire risk even in the most urban areas of L.A. Winds of the magnitude forecast can make firefighting efforts extremely challenging and cause ongoing blazes to spread hastily. Relative humidity levels are expected to generally remain below 20 to 30% early into next week across much of Southern California. The dry setting paired with the return of blustery conditions will mean a continuance of the extreme fire threat throughout the region. Now, the dry landscape is in dire need of moisture. The parched vegetation has provided a ready supply of fuels for area fires scorching the region. Unfortunately, rainfall in locations across the southwest and portions of the south central states are projected to remain below the historical average through the remainder of January. The dryness factor may keep the fire risk elevated for many locations. As offshore winds subside, from Wednesday into Thursday, a more routine influx of moisture from the Pacific with light winds is likely to occur later this week into the start of the weekend. There is the potential for another moderate to strong Santa Ana wind event early next week. A 23-year-old hiker got lost in the dense Australian wilderness and sparked a nearly 2-week-long land and air search in New South Wales. Hadi Nazari walked down a hiking trail alone on December 26th to take some photos in Kosciuszko National Park, which is south of Sydney. When he failed to return to the campsite, his friends notified police. An intensive search involving 300 people from multiple rescue agencies began. The search failed to turn up anything, and many feared the worst, but they kept searching. Eventually, Nazari was found by a group of hikers near a trail about 6 miles from the search command post on January 8th. He was examined by paramedics, and he seemed to be in good health. He'd found a pair of granola bars at an abandoned hut, and that's all he had had to eat for 2 weeks. Signs of Nazari were found during the search, including garbage and his hiking poles, an extinguished campfire, a lighter, and a camera, suggesting that he could be close by. Kosciuszko National Park covers an area of 2.3 square miles in New South Wales. It's popular with hikers for its challenging trails and stunning scenery. With it being summer in the southern hemisphere, the temps had created sweltering conditions, but searchers had been reassured by the presence of water in the area when Nazari vanished. That's all for now. You can find more stories and regional forecasts at AccuWeather.com, and for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.